If you're financially disciplined but still don't feel like you're getting ahead, you're not alone. You work hard, stick to a budget, and try to make good money decisions, yet one setback leaves you feeling like you're starting over again. Stay with me, because I'll show you why discipline alone isn't enough, and the simple money system that helps your progress finally last. Being disciplined with your money doesn't always feel the way you expected. You create a budget, avoid unnecessary spending, pay your bills on time, and try to make responsible decisions. Yet somehow, it still feels like you're working incredibly hard just to stay in the same place. Eventually, you stop asking, "What should I do next?" and start asking, "Why isn't any of this working?" That's the question that changes the rest of this video. The frustrating part is that discipline isn't supposed to feel this discouraging. So if you're doing the right things, why aren't they producing the results you expected? The answer is that discipline is only one part of financial success. Most people think getting ahead is simply a matter of trying harder, spending less, or having more self-control. Those things matter, but they aren't enough on their own. Think of discipline as the engine and your money structure as the frame. A stronger engine can't fix a weak frame. Eventually, the whole system breaks down. Money works the same way. Discipline helps you make good decisions. Structure determines whether those good decisions actually create lasting progress. A weak money structure usually shows up in ways people don't recognize at first. There isn't enough margin in the budget. Every dollar is already committed before the month even begins. There isn't an emergency fund to absorb unexpected expenses. Important future costs haven't been planned for. Financial priorities aren't clearly defined. None of those problems are solved by simply becoming more disciplined. That's why people who work incredibly hard with their money can still feel stuck. They're trying to compensate for weak systems with personal effort. Over time, this creates a frustrating cycle. Every setback feels bigger than it should. Every surprise expense feels like failure. Instead of building momentum, you're constantly rebuilding what you already had. Eventually, many people stop trusting themselves. They begin thinking, "Maybe I'm just bad with money." But that's often the wrong conclusion. If you keep blaming yourself instead of fixing your financial structure, you'll keep working harder without making lasting progress. The encouraging news is that this isn't about working harder. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how a few structural changes can finally allow your discipline to produce lasting progress. Instead of asking, "How can I become more disciplined?" start asking, "What part of my money system keeps breaking?" That question changes everything. A stronger money structure usually starts with 4 simple improvements. First, build margin into your budget. If every dollar has already been spent before the month begins, even a small surprise creates a crisis. Leaving some breathing room makes your finances much more resilient. Second, create buffers. An emergency fund keeps one unexpected expense from destroying months of progress. Sinking funds prepare you for expenses you know are coming, like car repairs, insurance premiums, holidays, or home maintenance. Third, establish clear priorities. When you know exactly what matters most, difficult financial decisions become much easier. Finally, let systems do some of the work. Automatic savings, scheduled bill payments, and planned transfers reduce the number of decisions you have to make every month. Discipline is still important. But now your discipline is strengthening a system instead of trying to replace one. That's what creates lasting financial progress. Let's use a simple example. Beth is disciplined. She rarely buys things she doesn't need. She pays her bills on time. She tracks her spending. But every unexpected expense sends her backwards because she doesn't have an emergency fund and she hasn't planned for irregular expenses. Instead of trying to become even more disciplined, Beth changes her structure. She starts setting aside a small amount every payday for emergencies. She creates sinking funds for predictable expenses. She leaves a little extra room in her monthly budget instead of spending every available dollar. Nothing about Beth's personality changed. She didn't suddenly become more disciplined. She simply built a stronger financial structure. Now, when life happens, her progress doesn't disappear as easily. You can begin doing the same thing this week. Look at your current money system and ask yourself one question. What keeps forcing me to start over? Pick just one weakness this week. Build one small buffer, create one sinking fund, or make one financial priority clearer. Lasting progress doesn't come from changing everything at once. It comes from strengthening your system one step at a time. Financial discipline is valuable, but it isn't designed to carry your entire financial life by itself. Lasting progress comes from building a money structure that supports your good decisions instead of depending on willpower alone. But even a stronger money structure faces another challenge. What happens when real life doesn't go according to plan? One stressful week, one unexpected expense, or one major disruption can expose weaknesses you didn't even know existed. In the next video, we'll look at why your money system doesn't survive real life and how to build one that keeps working even when life doesn't. The next video in this series isn't ready just yet, but if you haven't watched If You Don't Control Your Money, It Controls You, I recommend watching that next. It explains why taking control of your money is about much more than your bank account. It's about reducing stress, creating stability, and building the freedom to shape your future. If this series is helping you, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next video. And if you know someone who works hard but still feels stuck financially, share this video with them. It may be exactly what they need.